Well, hello, how you doing? This is the S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast, episode number 369. How are you doing, my friends? How are you doing? I want to talk to you about something this week that's a little bit different than normal. And a lot of times people get in trouble because of something somebody else did. You had nothing to do with it. And if you know about it in the beginning, you can actually beg off. If somebody's going to do something horrible, you can just look at them and go, hey, don't drag me into that crap. You can say that to them. But sometimes people will do something horrible. You don't have anything to do with it. You didn't know about it. And all of a sudden you have your life ruined, or you wind up getting in trouble, or you have your reputation damaged because of something somebody else did. And you didn't do anything. You did nothing. It's that bastard. Right? I've met people that, and it's one of those situations where you meet someone and something happens to them that is so over the top outrageous that it sounds like something that comes from a really bad 80s era cable movie, right? You're sitting there, and I remember a guy said to me, he goes, yeah, man, I was in jail. And I went, you were in jail? Because you look at this guy, he just didn't look like the kind of guy that was in jail. Do you know why he went into jail? Because he was hanging around with somebody he shouldn't have been hanging around with. He did not know he should not be hanging around with this person, but he found out later. Why? He drives someplace with the guy. The guy's in the car with him. They're just hanging out. Two new buddies getting to know each other, and he's driving. The guy gets out, goes to get something, right? And he calmly gets back into the car, and they pull off, and they're just having a regular old conversation. Yeah. And then what happens after that? He looks over at his friend, and his friend goes, yeah, man, you know what? Tonight's drinking is on me. It's on you. Okay, cool. That's great. I mean, but we might be there. We might actually eat and everything. And I don't really want to, if we're going to eat and drink, I don't want to hit your pocket too hard. And I got the money. Don't worry about it. No, it's on me. See? You got a lot of cash there, bro. Yeah. Shouldn't that be in your wallet? No, I just got it. Where'd you get it from? Cash register? Maybe this guy robbed the store, right? And in this particular situation, you didn't have anything to do with it. You didn't know anything about it. And all of a sudden, there's 4 police cars behind you. Wee. Get out of the car, you mother, get out of the car. And you're on the ground getting handcuffed, and you wind up going to jail or getting in trouble or having some kind of crap attached to you when you didn't do anything. Because that person dragged you into that crap. You had nothing to do with it, but this bastard dragged you into that crap. Now, fortunately, nothing like that has ever happened to me, right? Because most of the time when somebody's in my car, I've known them for a long period of time. I don't just let anybody that I just met that second into my car. And sometimes people used to think that I was a little bit antisocial because when you would drive to gigs as a comic, sometimes you would pick up other comics, and take them with you. When I was a young comic before, when I was a little kid, not a little kid, but, a late teenager, and I didn't have my own car, what happened was other comics would pick me up and take me with them. And it was cool, right? I was just a kid, and I was kind of like all of my friends. I was their baby brother at the time, right? They didn't mind picking me up, and I was a good comic, and I didn't cause any trouble. No problem. So when people get into the situation where they know you won't cause trouble, they have no problem picking you up. And being the kind of person that I am, I'm the kind of guy that I remember that time back in the day when I was just a kid comic and I didn't have a car, and all these other comics were so nice and gracious as to pick me up, to go out of their way to pick me up, wouldn't even take gas money from the kid. I remember that. So I wanted to be that guy. And I'm hanging out with somebody, and he's a newer comic, not a young guy, but a newer comic, young in a comedy game. I'm a veteran comic. I've been, working a long time. I meet this cat, seems like a nice enough cat. I don't know anything about him personally, but he seemed nice enough, right? And he's going to be on the show with me. Fantastic. That's great. Right? So I pick him up and everything. Not a problem, right? But then as it turns out, I didn't realize that his reputation as a human had preceded him, right? My reputation among all the people that I work with and all the bars that I would work with and the clubs that I would work with and everybody else. He's a great guy. Yes, Anthony is a nice guy. He does a professional job. He's a great guy and incredible and double incredible. And I'm proud of that reputation, and I maintain that reputation to this day. But it was almost damaged, right? Because this particular person also had a reputation, and unbeknownst to me, his reputation was exactly the opposite. Piece of crap, slime bag bastard. That's what he was, right? But he was such a sleaze bag that nobody even wanted to confront the bastard because they didn't know how crazy he could have been, right? He didn't have a reputation for whooping anybody's butt, but he looked like a crazy guy when he was in mad mode, and I'd never seen him in mad mode, but they had seen him in mad mode. Oh no. So you go to a bar where where you're known, and as it turns out, he's known, but you're not known of being together, and you're sitting there with the guy, and you're looking around, and the bartender looks at you, and she looks at me, and she smiles. Hey, is that me? And then she looks at that guy, and her face starts to melt down the same way a person's face melts down in every horror movie you've ever seen, right? Or every spy movie you've ever seen, right? Or every bad cable movie you've ever seen, when the person behind the counter, in this particular case, the bartender, she knows what a piece of crap this guy is. So she looks at you and there's a smile. Yes, Anthony's here. He's a great guy. He tips. He's a sweetheart. Yay. And her head turns slightly to the left and she sees who you're sitting next to. That bastard. He sucks. Right? So you look over at her and you see the smile, and you watch as her face melts down, because her face goes from smile to utter disgust. And then you realize that her utter disgust face is directed at the person to your right. And then you notice she looks back at you, and instead of going back to the smile, she has a look of confusion and a look of slight disgust. And you don't know why. You don't. And the guy you're with is around you too much. He doesn't even go to the bathroom. He's around you a little bit too much, so you can never have a few minutes alone with the bartender for her to tell you what a piece of crap this guy is. And you kind of let it slide. You don't know. Maybe they were dating at one point and broke up. I don't know. Has nothing to do with me. I don't want to get involved with it. Not a problem. Go to the next place. And the waitress in another club shows up and, hey, it's Anthony. She gives you a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And then she looks at the guy. Hey, what do you want to drink, bastard? Die. Okay, she didn't actually say that, but her eyeballs said it. Die, bastard. That's what her eyeballs said. And you're going, wow, this is the second place I've been. And the second woman who thought I was a sweetheart and wants to stab this guy. What the hell's going on? But in this particular occasion, oh yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to the waitress, and I'm not going to repeat what she said, but now I know this guy's a hunk of crap, and I'm now stuck with this bastard until these shows are over. Because I gave my word that I'd lug this piece of crap around because his car is effed up. Who knows, maybe an ex-girlfriend effed up his car because he's a piece of crap. That could be the case. I'm betting that's the case. I would bet money that that's the case, right? Yeah. So as we go to each place, I get the same thing. Smile for S, frown for that bastard. Smile for S, frown for that bastard. A hug for S, wish they could stab that bastard. Ex-girlfriends are walking up to me. It didn't work out between us, but you're still a sweetheart. Right? And then they see that guy, because they know him as well, because he's a piece of crap. Oh no. We're going to the last spot now. Oh, now that I know that everybody in the world thinks this guy's a piece of crap and he may have damaged my reputation, I got to go, basically I have to very quickly go back to each one of those places without this bastard and be regular me so that they can go tell me what the hell happened with this bastard. But we have to do the last gig. By the way, he kind of sucked. So finally I dropped the guy off at his house and I leave him there. Hey, that was a great time. Maybe we can do it again. And of course I'm as non-committal as somebody who goes out on a bad date but wants to get out of the way, away from the person without making a commitment, but also without not knowing whether the person has a weapon. That's what I said back to him. Hey, let's do this again sometime, buddy. That means hell no, loser. I don't know if he had the Rosetta Stone to actually, or use Google Translate to figure out that that means hell no, loser. But I'm pretty sure he got the point when all my stuff was blocked when he tried to contact me. I ain't kidding. So that's what I wound up doing. I wound up doing the rounds again and meeting up with everybody, and I go back to the places almost in exactly the same order because, go back to the first place. The bartender walks up to me and she goes, "What were you doing with that guy? He's nothing but a bloob, and he's a dirty rotten bloob, and he ain't nothing but a bloob." And I said, "Why are you saying bloob? Why don't you just use the curse word?" She goes, "Oh, you're right. That is kind of stupid to go bloob." And I could say the curse words. We're adults and we're in a bar. That was weird that she did that. She did not do that. She said the words. And as it turns out, this guy was, you ever just get a feeling that somebody sucks as a person, but you don't know the depth of their suckitude, right? And in your mind, you have a bottom of suckness that you think a person can hit. And then occasionally you meet another person who takes the bottom, the base level, the lowest level of suckiness and drives it down, right? I forgot what the lowest depth of the ocean is called, the something trench, whatever it is. His ass is below that crap. The people in whatever that trench is go, "You think this is deep? Look at that bastard down there." That's how low down the bastard is. And this was just her particular stories. Oh no. I go back to the other place. I finally get an opportunity to talk to the waitress. We talk about the stuff she talked about. As it turns out, he's even lower than that. He actually comes back off the other side of the planet. That's how low that bastard is. The piece of crap. Boom, low. Scumbag. You're daggone right. And as she's telling me the stories, other people are going, "Are you talking about?" And they mention his name. And they come up and they're all hitting me with stories. It's like I'm sitting there taking a deposition. "So Scumbag McGee did what exactly to you?" "Well, on Thursday, April 14th, he stole my car. He blah, 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 and then he did got my grandmother pregnant, and okay, no one got the grandmother pregnant, but almost as bad, right? Sleazebag. Oh no, right? And everybody goes, "Why were you with him?" And I didn't know he was a scumbag. Well, I should have known you wouldn't have known what a piece of crap this guy was. I know you're such a sweetie baditi. And you would never be with the guy. I said, "I got rid of his butt." And she goes, "Well, at the end of the evening, I'm pretty sure he must have said, 'We had a great time and, we should do this again.' So what did you say to him at that particular occasion?" I said, "You know what I said to him. Did you go?" As a matter of fact, I did go. They go, "Okay, he didn't have the Rosetta Stone to realize that meant, he didn't have the S. Anthony Rosetta Stone that or Google's S. Anthony Google Translate, so he could know that actually means the hell with you, loser bastard, go away." I don't think he did. And as it turns out, that dude was a piece of crap. But we've always been in those situations. We've been in those situations. Everybody's been in a situation like that, I assume, where you literally are just sitting there going, "Oh, don't drag me into that crap. Don't. Oh." Right? I go to the doctor's office and the pharmacy wasn't open fast enough. I had to get some antibiotics because I cut my foot. I was mowing the lawn and I didn't get my foot caught in the lawnmower, but I don't know what the heck happened. It's one of those things where if you have a bunch of idiots running by, sometimes they will, they'll throw something over the fence. Why carry it to a trash can or take it back to their car when you could throw it over the fence? And sometimes that happens because you're near the corner of the block. I don't know what it is by houses that are at the corner of the block that people are pieces of crap and will just chuck things over your fence, right? And you figure it's going to be like a bag of chips or a soda or something. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, I forgot what it was because this was a while. My foot, I stepped on it in my shoe and it went through my shoe and stuck and cut my foot and messed up my shoe. So I had to get rid of the shoe. So this person cost me a pair of shoes plus, the pain and suffering and all that kind of crap. So I had to get some antibiotics and, for the cut, blah, 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 blah. The infection, blue, 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 blue. Okay. So I go to the pharmacy and I'm standing there waiting for the stuff, and the pharmacy was supposed to open at 9:00 and it's 9:00 and 48 seconds. And one guy gets up, right? And he's, wait a second, this thing said it opens up at 9 o'clock, and these guys are not open up at 9 o'clock. That's what I can't stand about these hospitals. They hate people. They don't know it. I bet these doctors are right now with a couple of hookers somewhere, snorting coke and drop kicking baby seals, because that's what doctors are. They're all scumbags. And the pharmacists, they're even worse than that. They probably drop kick kittens to warm up for drop kicking more kittens, because they're scumbags. 48 seconds. So I ain't got nothing to do with these 48 seconds. When those 48 seconds that you're wasting by not being here, I could be back in my car and probably halfway to New York from, and of course the place we were at the time was like an hour and a half away from New York. But somehow, because he was upset, he figures that, maybe there's a rip in the space-time continuum and he'd be able to travel 150 miles in 48 seconds. Irrational. And another thing that's wrong, I can get back to because I'm not paying attention to him now. Because that's what he started to sound like, right? And now he's starting to rile people up. There's other idiots there as well. Yeah, now it's been 57 seconds. I could have finished my entire master's degree. I just started college last week, but I could have my master's degree in that 57 seconds. You know why? Because the doctors are probably snorting coke with hookers and drop kicking babies and beating up space. Yeah, because that's what they started to sound like. And all of a sudden, all of these people are getting riled up. It's like the stupidity from that guy kind of very slowly washed through. And I was immune to the stupidity. I could actually see the stupidity colored green heading towards me. And I looked at the stupidity and went, no. And it went, oh, we got a smart one here. And it went around me to the idiot to my left and infected everybody. And they're all standing up. Now it's 9:02. You mother jumping, mother effing, doctor, mother effing. Hi. There's a mini riot going on. And all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of people are all, I don't even know where the protest signs come from. How did you guys all get protest signs? How'd you get protest signs? That doesn't make any sense. How did you get protest signs? And another thing, right? I didn't even know what the hell was going on. How'd you get protest signs? It doesn't make any sense. And now security guards are coming up from downstairs, from upstairs, from outside, and they're all grabbing people and moving them around. Don't you touch me. Well, sir, I don't care. No, sir. And they're fighting, right? And as it turns out, as all of these people are going nuts, they all kind of very slowly stop and look at me, the one sane person in the room, looking at me. And I'm looking at them like, oh, let me look at my phone so I can act like I don't see. But, sir, could you look up from your phone for a minute? Oh, sir, these guys said that this happened and that happened. Well, I'm telling you this happened. Well, I said, well, let's ask him. He's the only one that's not flipping out. And I'm looking up at him like, and the only thing I'm thinking is, oh God, please don't drag me into that crap, right? And just as I'm about to say something to this cavalcade of knuckleheads, the pharmacists begin walking into the room, right? Well, not the room, down the hallway, and we're running a little late. Sorry about that. It was a car accident on the freeway and we were running late. The kind of explanation that would make a normal person go, oh, so we pretty much were about to riot in the hospital over something that you had no control over when you were in good faith going to be on time. Right? Then everybody calms down. The security guards put their blackjacks back in their thing. One guy's got his taser out and you can see him kicking the wall like, dang, I was going to tase that guy. This sucks, man. I don't even know. I just charged up the taser. I was going to Kentucky fry that bastard. Oh, man. Oh, darn it. And they go out of their way. As it turns out, the pharmacists show up and they're very nice, courteous, polite, quick moving people. And keep in mind, they were late, but everybody that was there by 9:17, and I was last in line, I was out of there. The amount of time it probably would have been out of there even if they weren't late. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't 9:17, it was like 9:27. They were only like 10, 12 minutes late. So as it turns out, people got out of the place right around the time they would have got out anyway. And they almost dragged me into that crap, right? So what about I got all worked up? Yeah, damn it. And another thing, and all of a sudden Taser Boy, imagine if I got all into it and Taser Boy decided that, hey, let me tase that guy right there. And I got tased because of these bastards. They would have dragged me into it and tased. Oh, they got tased and crap because of those bastards. Don't drag me into that crap. Bastards. Now, why did I talk about that? I talk about that because we don't want to be dragged into stupid crap. How many times has it happened when somebody else does something dumb and all of a sudden you get in trouble? You didn't do anything, but they drag you into that crap. Well, I'm telling you something right now. Your buddy, me, as Anthony Thomas says to you, my audience, don't let anybody drag you into any stupid crap. You dig? Of course you do. Well, folks, this has been episode number 369 of the S. Anthony Says podcast. Much love to every last one of you. I would go through the spiel that I always go through. Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Apple Podcast, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. Listen, this podcast has been around for a while. You already know that. If there's something out there that plays podcasts, I'm on it. And if you're listening to this, you're also on it. So do me a big favor, my friends. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to this podcast. If you know somebody that you think would like this podcast, recommend this podcast to that to that person, or better yet, to people. Spread the words, my friends. Rate and review this podcast. And also, if you like this podcast, note that I have two podcasts. This one, the one you're listening to, called the S. Anthony Says podcast, or S. Anthony Says. That's what this is called. And there's another podcast that people seem to like, and I think you will too if you like this, because, you know, it's me. It's called the S. Anthony Thomas Show. It's on Anchor, and it has also been around for a little while now. So I can honestly say now that podcast is also everywhere you can think of a podcast being. Apple Podcast, Stitcher, it's everywhere, damn it. So subscribe to both podcasts, tell friends about both podcasts, rate and review both podcasts, and listen to both podcasts. You bastards. Much love to you all. I appreciate everything that you do and that you say, my friends. Much love to every last one of you. And whatever country you are, doesn't matter to me. I love all of you. And I'm going to say goodbye right now the way I always say goodbye. You know that we've been doing this for years. We're going to do it on the count of 3. Are you ready? Of course you are. 1, 2, 3. S. Anthony out.
Go! S. Anthony Thomas. Go! S. Anthony Thomas. Go! S. Anthony Thomas. Go! S. Anthony Thomas. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and giggle. We're gonna get wild. Go ahead and clap. Go ahead and cheer. We're gonna have a good time while up in here.